In this last advanced workflow, I'm going to show you the kind of asymmetrical trimming that Ryan Case was speaking about, and also review some of the techniques shown in the other tutorials. In this scene, Jay and Gloria are having a fight, and Jay's about to put his foot in his mouth. Let's watch.
I don't say this, but it bothers me a little bit that you're just a tiny bit loud.
Loud?
Not all the time, only when when you talk.
So I embarrass you?
Gloria.
What? Am I being too loud again?
All right, buckle up.
I'm gonna go and try to do the laundry.
So very often, the director will ask for an alternate take, to see if there's a better one.
All right, buckle up.
So first, to find the other takes, I will use the Match Frame button to load the master clip into the source monitor. Once it's in the source monitor, I can click the Find Bin button to find the bin that holds the original clip, which of course is the same bin as all the other takes in the scene. However, because Modern Family uses the script-based editing workflow, I can also click this button, Find Script. This will actually load up the script, allowing me to audition other takes of this line by double-clicking the script marks for each take.
All right, buckle up. All right, buckle up. Okay, buckle up.
So I happen to know that I want this one that I've marked blue. So here's a really cool technique for placing that line into the sequence. First, I'll mark the clip I want to replace by pressing T on the keyboard, or clicking the Mark Clip button. Then, I'll click the Extract button, or press X for Extract. Then I'll go back and, oh, wait a minute, minus 29. Oh no! I've knocked video and audio out of sync somehow. And, true enough, later in the sequence, I find that the sound effects on lower tracks have moved out of sync with their video tracks. So let me undo what I just did with Command Z. Oh, now I see what the problem is. I only extracted from tracks V1 and A1. And the basic rule of maintaining sync is, whatever you do to one track, do the same to all the others. So if I want to maintain sync, I need to make sure every track is highlighted for extraction. Then, click the Extract button or press X on the keyboard. Now, to cut this line in directly from the script, first, mark an in point in the sequence. And then, to make sure that sync is maintained during the splice in, click the Sync Lock button in the TC1 track to turn on Sync Lock for all video and audio tracks. And now, to cut in the line directly from the script, hold down the Option and Command keys, and your pointer will turn into a yellow Splice In arrow. On the PC, you will hold down Control and Alt. Now, double-click the script segment you'd like to insert, and it will be spliced into the sequence at the endpoint.
Loud again.
All right, buckle up.
I'm gonna...
Okay, when it comes to trimming, the same rules apply. Whatever I do to one track, I need to do to all the others, or else AV sync will be affected. So let's say I want to trim off the first part of her line where she says, "oh." By holding down the Option key, I can lasso the edit points to enter trim mode. Then, by clicking the right side of the Composer window, I can trim the right side, or B side, of the edit. This is what's known as a symmetrical trim, because I'm trimming the B side on all three tracks. In other words, the in point of the video on V1, the gap on A1, and the audio on A2. Not only can I nudge the edit points forward with the on-screen buttons, or by pressing the period key on the keyboard to trim right one frame at a time, I can also play in real time using JKL. And when I find where I want the clip to begin, I can press K to perform the trim. To review what I've done, I can press the spacebar to activate the play loop. If I've trimmed off too many frames, I can simply press J to play in reverse, and then press K to pause once I've added the frames back into the sequence from the handle. But what if I want the lines to overlap? Well, I could trim back to the left to move Gloria's line back, but then I cut off part of Jay's line as well, because I'm trimming symmetrically. So what I want to do is select the out point on V1 and the out point on A2 so that I can move those tracks back to the left. But I'm going to select the endpoint of the gap on A1 so that instead of trimming the clip to maintain sync, I'll flip to the other side and select the endpoint of the gap. So now I've selected an A side, and a B side. And this, ladies and germs, is asymmetrical trimming. So as I trim frames off the A side on V1 and A2, instead of trimming frames from J's audio on A1, we'll trim the frames from the gap on the B side. Notice my A side didn't get any shorter. We're still trimming the same number of frames across all selected tracks, just not all from the same side of the edit. So now when I press the spacebar to review the lines, I'll hear that they now overlap.
All right, buckle
I'm
up.
gonna go and try to do the laundry.
If the director likes the way that the audio overlaps, but not the way that the video transitions from one character to another, we can use the same technique to perform a dual roller trim on the video. Avid gives us multiple ways to explicitly select, and in this case, deselect tracks. You can shift-click the selected roller in the timeline, or click the Track Selector button in the Track Control panel. Now I'll click the middle of the Composer window to select both sides of the edit for a dual roller trim, where, once again, I can play in real time and make my edit decisions on the fly, using my own internal sense of timing.
All right, buckle
I'm
up.
gonna go and... Am I being too loud again?
All right,
I'm
buckle
gonna
up.
go and try to do...
Maybe a little bit longer to let him finish his line.
Buckle up.
Am I being too loud again?
And that's asymmetrical trimming, with a little dual roller trim thrown in for good measure on Avid Media Composer.